Hi guys, and welcome back to another fly fishing video. Well, yesterday I spent all day driving up from London to go to Edinburgh, and I'm staying at my good pal Jock Kettles' house, and that's where the friendship ends, because for the next 3 days we're going to be competing against each other in the KitKat Cup. Jock, what do you think your prospects are?
Well, this year Lindsay's changed the goalposts slightly. This year we're going to be fishing the KitKat Cup over 3 venues.
3 venues.
Today we're up at the Lake of Menteith, tomorrow we're at Harlow, and on Sunday we're at the famous Loch Leven with a fantastic guide, Alan Smith.
And the other thing we're going to do is we're not going to play by the international rules. So because this is the first time we'll have shared a boat together in many years, we're going to open it out and see how we get on. If the fishing becomes difficult, there'll be snakes and DI3s everywhere.
No, there won't be. We're fishing this to international rules. We've fished it for 30 years to international rules, and that's one rule we're not changing.
But that's what you tell me. But I think every year you stick a wee snake on just to get them fish.
Not at all. We'll be fishing to international rules, loch style, in a drifting boat, and all 3 venues.
Well, Jock, I think that's all the chat's been chatted. I wish you the very best of luck, and I think we should get to the boats.
Wait! Without further ado, let's get into it.
Well, we finally got a float. Jock took me to the wee hotel there for a breakfast, and by goodness, they don't have Fiji up the road here. And I'm stuffed to the gunnels. I feel like going to my bed, never mind going fishing. But I've set my rod up. I've not put a line on the rod yet because I want to hear what Jock's going to do and what his thought process is for setting up today. So Jock, what do you think for today's fishing?
Well, today, Lindsay, I'm going to set up with a midge tip, a 3-foot midge tip. The word on the street, and we were here last week, is the fish are quite high in the water, so I'll probably have 4 flies set up. Yeah. I'll have a small booby on the point.
So Jock, why a midge tip rather than a full floater?
I just want to be fishing it subsurface, and I'm going to be moving it ever so slowly. Right. So I just want it under the surface. The other reason is today I believe the fish are in shallow water, so I don't want to go too deep. I want to be able to fish into the edges, into the margins, and I believe that's been fishing really well for a few of my friends, and I'm sure it'll fish well today for us.
Right, so basically Jock's going to go with a washing line kind of setup, 4 flies I think, and it's only because I've got this rigged in my box already, is I've got a fab and I've got a couple of buzzers up, and I think that's what I'm going to go. And rather than a 3-foot midge tip, I'm going to go with the airflow slow tip and work my way like that. I think I'm not going to cast far. I don't want to spook any fish. If the fish are near the surface, the worst thing you can do is cast a distance, because what you do is you spook a lot of fish. So I'm just going to do short casts, try and keep in touch with the line, and we'll see how we go.
Well, the lake itself, Lindsay doesn't fish here very often. It's approximately 640 acres. The lake is one of the only lakes in Scotland. Most of the waters are referred to as lochs, so I'll refer to the lake today. Like I said, it's quite a big area of water, so we break it down into areas. And that way you can concentrate in the areas, and it takes away the vastness of the water. And the way the lake breaks down is you've got Loch End up by the shallows, a place called International Bay. Where we're sitting just now is Hotel Bay. Up the other side of the loch you've got Sandy Bay, you've got the Malin Shore, and you've got Gateside. In today's fishing we'll probably concentrate on this side, Hotel Bay, International Bay and Loch End, and then maybe in the afternoon we'll go and concentrate on 3 other areas up towards Gateside and the Malin. And it does look like quite a nice fishing day.
Oh, it's pity. Conditions, you know, if you were going to pick a fishing day, this is it.
Yep, so the next time you see me, I'll probably be set up. I'll be fishing my 3 buzzers my small booby on my midge tip, and hopefully we'll have some action shots for you.
Take it too far now. I dwell in the sand like a fish on land. Like a fish on land. I started to get lost at the station where you left. Everything was falling off. Who am I without this man? Oh, fingers crossed at any cost. Knock, knock on wood. I hope I'm better off. I would kick your if I could, but I'm deep, deep down on the bottom of a well. I don't belong, can't you tell? This place must be hell. No more cookies in this jar. Did I take it too far? Now I dwell in the sand like a fish on land. 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 I was getting lost in the quicksand. Pink clouds eating their way into my head. On and on until I bled. Superstitious, kind of vicious. Oh, knock, knock on wood. I was getting lost. And before I understood, I was deep, deep down on the bottom of a well. Seagrass was all I found. I know alternative hell. No more cookies in this jar. Did I take it too far? Now I dwell in the sand like a fish on land. But I'm deep, deep down on the bottom of a well. I don't belong, can't you tell? This place must be hell. No more cookies in this jar. Did I take it too far? Now I dwell in the sand like a fish on land.
We've been fishing for about an hour, and I got the first fish. I was obviously cock a hook. Well, actually, Jock got the first fish, and it was a perch, so I was doubly happy.
There you go, Lindsay. Get the camera out.
Camera's on, Jock.
Get the camera out. Kettles is in.
I need to get the action cam going.
Oh, it's a perch.
It's a perch! But then I immediately picked up a trout, so 1-0. But Jock got a couple back on me quite quick. He missed so many at the start, and I started to miss them as well. So Jock's made a slight change to his setup, and it's increased his catch rate tenfold. So Jock, tell us what you've been doing.
Okay, what happened is we were seeing fish, and I was starting to think that I was going under them slightly. So what I did was I decided to put a booby on the top dropper and also a booby on the point, and in between it hang 2 buzzers. And what an instant response. On that last drift I think I picked up 4 fish, so it was a good call. Flies are higher in the water now, and it's made a massive difference. Just that one small fly change, and it's paying dividends. And we'll try again on this drift and see what happens.
Well, we've been fishing, it's nearly lunchtime now, and we're going to stop and have a wee break, but I thought I'd give you an update on how it's going. So Jock was giving me a good seeing to early doors, and what I did was I didn't do exactly what Jock did, but I'm now fishing the same flies as him. So I've got a booby on the point, I've got 2 Vickers up, and I've got a booby on the top dropper, but I decided to go for the full floater, and it has paid dividends. I have kind of started to catch up with Jock, and I just had a little bit of a purple patch, but unfortunately, out of the 6 fish I hooked on the drift, I only managed to land 2 of them. So the scores are now 15-8, but I'm clawing my way back up. How do you think it's going, Jock? The lake's really fishing well, isn't it?
The lake's fishing really well. You had a really good drift there, Lindsay. You could have easily been sitting on 10, maybe 11.
Aye.
In
It's
fact,
just the luck of the draw, isn't it?
I got a few at range and they fell off, or I would have still been picking away at them. But you definitely had a good run there.
Yeah.
I've stuck with the midge tip, 3 foot, and you've stuck with it. You went through in the floater. I think the floater outfished the midge tip there.
It did. Certainly the last half hour, I think the fish have been much higher in the water, and that's maybe why I'm getting a wee bit more of the action. But Jock's been really unlucky, actually, because he's hooking the fish at range, and it's always a difficult thing to do, and we're both fishing barbless hooks, and when you hook them at range, you've got very little control, and I think that's why you've dropped them fish, Jock. There's fish behind you there.
We were thinking about moving, but we are in a competition, so we've decided to stay.
It's
But
all about the KitKat.
if Lindsay has another drift like his last drift, I think we'll be moving.
And it'll not be the first time Kettles has tamed me off the fish, I'll tell you that,
No,
folks.
I'd never do that.
No, it's been fantastic. And the trouble is when you're getting consistent sport, and it's not like you know, sometimes you'll get a follow and then you're just waiting for that to lock up. It's really exciting fishing, isn't it?
And we're seeing fish, and the fish that we're catching, I reckon they're in 4 feet water.
Easy. Aye, they're
About
very
4 feet
shallow.
water. And there's a couple of boats round about us, and there was a couple of older gentlemen asked. We had a good run this morning. A couple of older gentlemen were asking us what we were getting them on, so we told them, and they've had a fantastic.
Oh, every time we see them at a certain point in the lake, they're catching lots of fish.
We're fishing at Loch End just now, and we're drifting up towards the reeds at Toad Hole inside the bay. For anybody that's watching this, and if you see the video and you're coming up here, it would definitely be a good starting point.
Yeah, and you were saying earlier, Jock, because it's a part of the lake that's quite shallow, it can't take many boats, so if you've got a load of boats in here, all you're going to do is end up spooking them fish, aren't you?
We've been lucky. There's been like 3 boats working this area, and it's quite a big area. So, and the boats that's right up behind us, right up at the shallows, they must be catching fish up there as well, because they've not come down.
Well, while we're talking, Jock, I'm just watching fish all round the boat behind you, popping their heads up.
My side, we might just drift for here. Like Yep.
Well, there's still plenty of fish to be caught, mate, so I think we should get back on with it.
What?
So where are we at? Well, it's been a fantastic afternoon. As you can see, conditions are absolutely perfect for fishing. I've managed to get my total up to 18, but it's not good enough, and Jock's going to tell you how he's gotten on.
Well, Lindsay says it's not doing good enough, but he's catching every time. I'm sitting on 26. Lindsay's sitting on 18. Every time Lindsay has a wee flurry, I manage to pick up 1 or 2 just to keep him at arm's length. But what a day we've had, absolutely amazing.
You couldn't really make it up, Jock, could you? It's been just superb. Sport every drift. We've just titivated our tactics, I would say. So we've not done any major changes. I've varied between a full floater and a slow sinking midge tip, and Jock stuck with a 3 foot all day, eh?
I've stuck with a 3 foot all day. It's been quite a mix. It's been quite mixed. All of a sudden I just take buzzers and they won't look at the booby, and then the next 3 or 4 are on the booby and they're not looking at the buzzers.
Aye, it's weird, isn't it?
So, but as long as they keep coming.
Aye, absolutely. So we're going to batter on. I don't know how much time's left, Jock. I've not looked at my watch. I've just been really enjoying the day. So we'll batter on and see if we can get a few more in the bag. That's us got the boat back on the beach without any major disasters. It's been, I can barely think of the words to describe the fishing here at the Lake of Menteith today. It's been non-stop. I think quite late in the afternoon we had a drift where we didn't get any action, and I said to Jock, I says, what's going on here? and you didn't have any action either. It was one drift, but every other drift we've had here today at the lake, we've had sport. We've either had fish in the boat or we've had fish on and off. And the amount of takes that we've been getting, it's you couldn't really make it up. So I had a good regain, and I got 18 fish. Now, anybody else, it'd been anyone else, I'd have been confident that 18 fish would have been enough. But I'm fishing with Jock. He's one of the most capped international Scotland's ever had in the loch-style scene. Tell them how many fish you got today, Jock.
Well, I had 29 today.
It's embarrassing, really, isn't it? 29, you fishmonger.
Well, the Lake of Menteith certainly lived up to its reputation of being the premier trout fishery in Scotland today. The water's crystal clear, the fish are in perfect condition.
Aye, and to be fair, the conditions we've had for fishing today has been, you couldn't make it up. You know, overcast all day, and we've had fish topping the surface most of the day. When we get certain bits, you know you're going to get some action. So Jock's done really well, and he's won the first round of the KitKat Cup. But we're at Harelaw tomorrow, and I think Ross is going to treat us grand, and we'll see if I can turn it round there.
Ross,
what do you think, Jock?
Get ready. Tomorrow, we'll see you tomorrow. Remember where your loyalty lies, and I'll see you tomorrow, pal.
Well, Jock, I think that's all that needs to be said. I think we should get the boats.
Wait, Lindsay. You mean without further ado?
Right, you got to keep in frame, mate.
Okay, right.
So where you are, didn't let me get
Right.
too far out the frame before you pull me back. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Well, I think that's all that needs to be said, Jock. I wish you the very best of luck, and I think we better get the boats.
Wait, Lindsay. You mean without further ado?
Let's get into it.
Right,
Without further ado, let's get into it.
Right.
We're getting there.
Wait.
Wait.
Without further ado,
You
let's
mean,
get into it.
without further ado, let's get into it. Okay.
No,
3.
let's do that.
Without further ado, how many of my videos have you watched? Watch them all.
Wait.
Without further ado, let's get into it. It's an easy catchphrase.
Aye, wait.
It's fucking easy.
That's what I said.
No, you said, wait, without further ado. And you forgot, let's get into it.
Oh, right, you just want
Right.
that. Let's get into it.
No, without further ado, let's get into it.
Right,
That's all you've got to say, okay?
right, okay.
Right, we're going to go again.
Right.
Right, here we go. 3, 2, 1.